A video here, another live stream. For a second, I thought it was the Carter Farr Show, the podcast I have, but it is the live stream. I get it so mixed up. I am constantly filming. But we're going to be talking about some of the top stocks here that I am keeping on watch here for this week here, and honestly for this whole month here. If you have any questions, you guys can ask them in the comments here, and I will review stocks. You guys can ask questions off me and everything like that. So I did send the live stream here to the group chat. If you guys are not signed up in it, I will post a link right now to the Discord here, so you guys can at least check it out. It's definitely worth it, and it is amazing. Honestly, it is. I post my weekly picks in it, and you guys can just follow that link, and then you guys will be good to go. All right, and I do apologize for any noise. I do have my nephew over, so if you guys hear anything, just pretend you don't. So, alrighty. So, looking at some of the top stocks here that I am buying for this week here, one that I think we should all keep on watch here is Tesla. So the thing about Tesla is Tesla hit highs here at $884. It is consolidating here right now. Let me change my drawing tool real quick. So with this classified Tesla's new strong resistance, okay? So now anytime this stock comes in contact with $884, that's where most of the selling pressure is going to start taking over. Looking at it on the RSI, it's trading at a 77. So looking back at previous history for Tesla, you guys can see almost every time it's traded on this overvalued mark on the RSI, we get temporary sell-off, okay? Right down in here, temporary sell-off, consolidation. Up in here, consolidation, a little sell-off. So now it is coming in contact, with this overvalued point. I do think we'll probably have a little more consolidation. I think it is a perfect one for dollar cost averaging, of course. All right, I want to get into Square. What's your price target? So Square is probably one of my top picks for this year. Now, I do think the stock could easily come in contact with about $300, okay, by late this year. So like December, early January of 2022, trading for around $300. I think the overall demand for fintech, because that's what Square is a fintech stock, I think we're getting more and more reliable on it, okay, and dependable. So I think that's something you guys should understand is Square does definitely carry a lot of potential here. So my price target would be around 300. I think that's a very, very fair expectation. I think that the next couple of earnings for Square are going to be very, very strong because Square makes so much money off pretty much a lot of things. They make money off Bitcoin because it's one of the top leaders in buying and selling Bitcoin, and they do charge a fee for that. Bitcoin's price right now is like 36,000, so it's very, very large. And they make a lot of money off that. For some reason, it does look like we are having some trouble in the live stream. I'm not sure if it's because of my internet or what. This is crazy. With how much money I spend on internet, it's nuts to have any sort of delay. But we're definitely going to get a hard wire to the computer here very, very soon. But yeah, so my price target for Square is around 300. I think it's very, very fair to assume that. Look at the momentum that this stock has had. I do think, this stock could probably fall down to about 200 before it hits 300. I think a good strategy would be that dollar cost averaging. So you could really minimize the downside risk for this. So what you do is you just, invest instead of one lump sum. You would invest, small increments over 10 weeks or, a couple of weeks. So you guys can get a good average price for your shares here. But Square definitely is one of the top stocks here that I am looking at. And I've been investing in this one since it was around 136, right in here. So I'm up a little bit on my return. Another stock that has performed very, very well is Lemonade. Lemonade is that insurance company that's had an amazing 180 days. Look at this. Lows at 44, highs at $188. Now, Lemonade is, okay. How about Snowflake? What's a good price to get into Snowflake? Okay, let's pull it up here. I think it's Snow, I believe. So it's trading right now for $280 a share. So this one here, you guys can see it's a very, very volatile stock. Okay, so look at this overall trend line right in here. Let me just remove all these drawing tools so it's easier for you guys, and then I can make my own. Okay, so look at this. So if we mark out all the lows, okay, right in the stock price, look at that. So yes, with all this volatility, we still have a slow upward trend, which is really, really strong. Okay, now Snowflake makes a lot of money off data warehousing. Okay, so I do think that is one of the top growing sectors for 2021. I think we're going to get a lot of momentum stepping in. But Snowflake is one of these companies that is, the valuation is pretty high. I understand that, but if you are a growth investor, you always pay a little bit more in the early days in hopes that it goes up, double, triple in the next couple of years. But for one lump sum investment, I would wait, or I would do dollar cost averaging from 280 all the way down to about 270. Right in that zone, I think we'll probably have some support. You guys can clearly see that overall trend. Okay, so I do think that very hard support would be around 275, 276 mark. I think it's a very, very fair support. If you guys are going to swing trade it, set your stops probably at like 260, right below that support. So it could technically use that price target there, or that price there as support too. So I would set it below 260 for my stops, and then just let this thing ride. I am a huge believer that Snowflake within the next 3 to 4 years is going to be one of the top companies here to invest in. But for some weird reason, guys, our stream is not. It's saying our status is poor. I'm not 100% sure why that is. Okay, now it's saying excellent. This is so crazy. Okay, so Snowflake, definitely one that I think dollar cost averaging could kill. So in my price target for this, I think it could easily come back up to around 325 by mid this year. So summer of this year, about 325 would be fair. I think when it was way up here, it was extremely overvalued, and I think we need to wait for that evaluation to meet the mark here. CRM, let's pull it up. CRM is Salesforce. Salesforce did get hit pretty hard here. Looking at it, you guys can see very similar to Snowflake, extreme volatility, but as an investor, we can use that volatility to our advantage here. So look at that. So that was a overall trend. It did break through that trend. That would have been probably the best short opportunity, would be in here. So now it does look like it did find some overall support around that 200 mark. The market just ended. So now let me go in. Okay, so now you guys can clearly see that the hard support would be probably around the 200 mark. Right in here, very hard support. But the question you always have to ask yourself is it going to fall back down there? So what I do, just for fun, I always will set a alert, because honestly, you never know. So at or below that price target of 200. So I do think their new support would probably be around 210. And now the thing about this is it really likes to use these moving average lines as resistance. So you guys can see it's come in contact, sell off, okay? Comes in contact, it does look like it's trying to really break above this 200. I think if it does, that would be a good opportunity. But price target for this, really, I don't know too much about their fundamentals, but I would estimate that it would be around 250 by mid this year. Just by looking at the rate of return and the overall demand for this company, I think that's a pretty fair evaluation. But the hard part is we need to get a breakout of 230, and then we need to get a break of this overall moving average line. So I do think there's definitely a couple resistance in sight before we get that mark. Let me draw it out for you guys. So we have that. You guys can see it's come in contact, sell off. So now when this stock comes in contact with it, we're going to have a lot of selling pressure entering this, okay? So we're going to have to get a breakout of this and this, so two. So I do think we probably will have a little more consolidation or a little sell-off before we get that break. But I think Salesforce, honestly, is a great company, especially for the next couple of years. I really believe the demand for this is going to be very, very large for the next, 2 to 5 years. I think that it would be a perfect company, Salesforce. Good growth company. Something like this, though, it's very volatile, and you could make money off it all day. Look at these squeezes, This was an earnings report you guys can see, and then another one in here, probably missed earnings. So, I think that this is a good company for the next, couple of years. I would highly recommend it. With Biden becoming president, how do you see the market reacting? I think, not to be, political or anything, but I think with Trump in office, we had a lot of sectors take off. We had oil do very well. We had oil. What was it? We had oil, car manufacturers, a lot of those. And so with Biden stepping in, I think we're probably going to have a little shift towards clean energy, renewable energy, like Tesla will perform well because there's going to be a lot more tax benefits. Stuff like that. That's what I believe. I believe that, ETFs, those clean ETFs, I believe, let me see if I have a watch list here for one. Maybe I'm overlooking. So here's some of the electric cars right in here. If you guys want to screenshot it, I think that most of these will perform well. Tesla, not Nikola. I would not advise Nikola, but some of these will perform very well. Look at Plug Power. That is that hydrogen company. Look at the performance for this. I remember looking at the stock when it was $19, and I've been dollar cost averaging into it. Not much. I'll tell you that right now, not much at all. I wish I would have invested more. But I think clean energy will be a good wave. I think that healthcare will perform well. I think that REITs will be doing good. And I'm a huge believer in just no matter what president is in office, I think that every president over the past 90 years, most of them, let me tell you, have hit highs. Okay, so when Trump was in office, we hit highs. When Biden was in office, or will be in office, we'll probably hit highs. Okay, no matter what president is in office, we've hit highs. Okay, so look at this. The reason why is because when you invest in the market, you're not just investing because of the president, but you're investing. Let me just pull it up. You're pretty much investing into the U.S. economy. Okay, so in the 90s, all these presidents hit highs. Boom, 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 boom. And then we did get some sell-off, and then back in Obama's era, okay, from 2008 all the way to 2016, he hit highs too. Okay, so I think that no matter what president is in office, just stay the course. Okay, stay the course. Dollar cost average the S&P 500, and just ride this out. I am telling you, no matter what president is in office, all the market will perform well. When you invest into the S&P 500, just imagine you're investing into the U.S. economy. Should I buy NIO now? All right, let's pull it up. I honestly think that, NIO. Okay, so NIO has had an amazing year, really, in 2020. And honestly, already in 2021, you guys can see it went from $60, hit highs at 66, sold off a little bit. So now looking at it, here's I think the best strategy for investing in this. If you're going to do one lump sum, so you're going to put, let's just say $1,000 all up front and just hold it for a couple of years, I would wait for a fall back down to 55. I think that's a very, very strong support. You guys can see it's come in contact at resistance, and old resistance has a tendency to act as new support. Okay, so it comes in contact, sell off. Okay, so now it did break above it. It's curling down. So I do think it's going to use that old resistance as some support. Okay, so I think that the $55 mark would be very, very strong, a strong point. But if you want to use NIO's volatility to your advantage, so if that's, say, you're investing in here, you sucked it up, you invested in NIO at 55, and then it fell all the way to 44 or $40. Okay, all you would do is buy more as it falls and average your price down. Dollar cost average this thing all day long. Okay, whether it is only $10 a week, $10 a month into a company like this, what it does is it sets a foundation for your growth stocks. And so you know that no matter what, you're staying the course, and you think that you're just investing into really the sector here because the whole sector is going crazy, and I think NIO will perform fine. I don't think you should be worried about it. Price target for this, what's crazy is I set my price target for NIO at $65 in 2021. And this was all the way back when it was around 44, 45 bucks. So now with it hitting my price target, I'm kind of reevaluating this company. I think the fundamentals are fantastic. I think that this company carries a ton of long-term potential. Okay, so I'm moving my price target from 65 all the way up to about $75, $72. And I believe it could hit that next week? Yes, I completely understand that. But you also have to understand that each time a company goes up and creates new highs, the risk level with it goes up too. So technically, you should be buying now when it's falling rather than when it's at these highs. That's just my opinion. So price target 75, probably will hit it in a couple, if not a month. I could guarantee it with the overall demand for this company. Honestly, NIO's numbers in their evaluation lost viewers.